Hey guys, it's Roxy Lee. This is my second question and answer video that I'm doing for everyone. I'm in my lovely new basement apartment. I would give you guys the grand tour, but it's insanely messy right now, and I look like a hoarder. It's bad. It's costume season, so everything's just everywhere. You can judge by my facial expressions that I'm not excited about cleaning this up. Yeah, so thank you for all your questions. I'm going to start answering them because there's a lot and I really don't want to make this too long. I got bit by something. Look at, what is that? It's huge. Yeah, so that really itches. But yeah, so thank you guys for all your support on my rants and stuff like that. I know I can come across as a very angry person, but I'm really not an angry person. I'm actually just a very easily frustrated person. And yeah, so I don't know, I've always been outspoken and opinionated, and came from a family where both of those things were always engaged constantly, whether they were healthy or not healthy. Yeah, so I don't know, I just don't hold back. I'm not in this to make a bunch of friends through popularity and stuff like that. I mean, I make friends based on similar interests and respect, mutual respect. I don't make them simply because I feel like they're gonna get me ahead, so I have no problem in pissing people off if it means that their bullshit's being called out. So yeah, that's a bit on that matter. So let's start with questions. You guys sent me so many. Okay, I'm apologizing in advance for getting your names wrong. I suck at pronouncing names. I think we all learned that from the last video I did. Okay, Keith James Diver. That's pretty easy. Thank you. All right, how would someone go about wooing you? I don't know, I've never been wooed, I guess you could say. I guess no one's ever like specifically tried to woo me. They just I think more or less when you're not trying to woo me is when I'm wooed. I think it's just like the word woo now. Woo! What cons do you attend within the States? None. Yay! I wish I could change that, honestly, because all like the really, really popular conventions are out in the States, and I wish I could go, but due to money and all that stuff, I really can't. And hopefully one day I can be one of those cool people that gets invited to events, but I would never ask that of people. I think it's an honor if people submit you for it, but I think they should do it on their own accord. So hopefully one day that might happen. Also, would you be willing to travel to the States if you were requested to do a fan-made film? Yeah, sure. I mean, I love acting. I love fan-made films. I plan on making one soon. Hint, hint. Yeah, if someone were to ask me to be in a fan-made film and my expenses were covered, I would be on that like white on rice. Is that the saying? All the cool kids say. But you have to understand, when it comes to stuff like that, as much as I wish I could do everything for free, travel and hotel and all that stuff does rack up in cost. Where can a nerd, geek, gamer guy like myself find an easy place to find and talk to a single nerdy, geeky gamer girl? From Christopher. I feel like I said this wrong last time. Christopher Gagnon or Gagnon, or I feel like it's Gagnon. I had a friend growing up with the same last name and it was Gagnon. So I'm gonna go with that. Christopher W. Gagnon asked, where can a gamer guy find a gamer girl? I don't know, a convention is like the coolest place. I mean, whenever I go to Fan Expo, I see like the most amazing people and some very attractive people who are like-minded and have the same hobbies and interests, and it's really easy to talk to them, and you just gotta really put yourself out there. I think confidence is one of the sexiest things in the world, so even if your confidence is still being shy or awkward, that's still confidence in you going up and introducing yourself to someone. You never know. I mean, everyone's there for the same reason, so that automatically helps. It's easier than a bar when you really don't know what you're getting yourself into. or what kind of person they're gonna be. You really know that they're already into the same things as you, so try a convention, try your local gaming store, or like gaming tournaments. I don't know if you play like tabletops or like RPGs and stuff like that, but any of those kinds of things. There might be girls, LARPing, any of those things that have women. Anything that is kind of on the same level as your interest is the easiest place to find someone. Even online, like in Xbox communities and PlayStation communities and stuff like that. I've seen people build relationships from that, so you never know. I hope that helped. I wish I had more for you there. Corey Strain, what is your most proudest accomplishment related to cosplay? Probably my crow, I guess. Yeah. I mean, having Gigi kind of thumbs up my Chiana was kind of cool, but... Or having... No, actually, okay, I have two. Okay. For one, having Mark Silvestri share my Witchblade makeup. If you don't know, he kind of created Witchblade, is a big part of it. So having him like personally share my Witchblade video on like all of his pages and his personal page, and then when I went to meet him in Niagara, he like remembered me and gave me a hug, and that was like the coolest moment of my life. For someone who like created a character to give you the old, yeah, you did good, and then to furthermore share it and say this is awesome, that was probably such a like crowning achievement for me in makeup cosplay. But in terms of like cosplay, I guess my crow would be my proudest, because I just feel like it was the most accurate cosplay that I've done, and I worked really hard, at capturing the essence of Brandon Lee and the essence of Eric Draven, and I really just wanted it to be perfect, and I think Adam really helped me with capturing those shots and setting the tone for them. So yeah, when I see those pictures, I'm super, super proud of them, and I'm really proud of how accurate it actually was. So that's probably my proudest cosplay moments. Robert Mears. What and or who inspired you to get into the makeup effects cosplay? No one really inspired me. Paul Jones is one of my favorite people right now within makeup, and he was one of the first makeup artists I actually fell in love with their character. Pinhead was one of my absolute favorite makeups that I always wanted to do but never felt like I was good enough to do it. I still want to try to do it. And then when I finally got the chance to actually meet him, I had no idea he was going to be at that event, but I kind of freaked out when I saw him, and he's been such an inspiration for me now. He's complimented my work, which is like the hugest thing in the world for me. But yeah, he's also worked on the Silent Hill movies and the Resident Evil movies, both of which were movies that I would watch behind the scenes footage of, and I would say this is what makes me want to become a makeup artist. Silent Hill movies and characters. The Creatures from Silent Hill and the documentary behind the scenes is one of the movies that made me want to be a creature concept creator. So, Paul Jones is probably one of them. I would say V. Neal, because I'm in love with Tim Burton, and I'm in love with the kind of Tim Burton-esque feel for makeup, and she really puts that in a lot of her makeups. Tom Savini is another big one. Those are about the three that I really... Obviously, Dick, who did the Exorcist makeup, that's just such a classic makeup that you've seen at a young age that you're kind of like, I wish I could do that. But really, I just kind of got into it on a whim. Cosplay too, I just got into it on a whim, and I got good at it. What do I know? Moving on. I tend to really ramble. Are your eyes really blue? Kidding. What project would you love to take up outside of your comfort zone, if there is any? No, I don't have comfort zones. Who has those? Like a particular type of makeup or cosplay, or just something that isn't categorically you. I can't read. Yes, actually, I would want to do a full body movie universe Mystique, and for those of you who know me, I don't do any cosplays that show off my body very much, so that's a very body conscious cosplay, and makeup It's a full latex suit with prosthetics, and that is something that I will eventually be tackling, but I am sort of weary about it. But yeah, that's mainly, and any one that really shows off my stomach is one that I'm kind of nervous about tackling. I would love to be able to do characters that are a little bit more risque, because I love a lot of them, but I'm just not there yet. And makeups, Hellraisers. Pinhead's probably the one makeup, or The Exorcist, to do that. Regan's makeup is probably the two makeups that I want to tackle the most, but I'm terrified to do so. Failure is terrifying. Jessie A. Beck. Of which of these sci-fi series do you want to encounter their species? Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, or Mass Effect? Mass Effect, hands down. Not a big Star Trek fan. Haven't watched enough Stargate to know anything about it. Star Wars, I mean, other than the Ewoks and Chewbacca, I have really no desire to meet any of them. Oh, actually, maybe some of the Twi'leks and stuff. But Mass Effect is one of my favorite game franchises. I really just want to meet the Asaris and the Krogans and all of them. So I'm probably going to go with Mass Effect because I want to live on the Citadel and be happy. Joseph Roseberry. I like your last name. I just need to know, will you marry me? I'm already marrying Tiger Lily Cosplay. She asked me like yesterday, so sorry. What I want to know is, what is your most difficult cosplay of all time and how do you feel about prosthetics? My most difficult cosplay was probably... They're not really, I don't really do a lot of difficult things. I guess Poison Ivy was my most difficult one because of the makeup and all like the sewing of the leaves and stuff by hand onto the underwear and the tights. And actually no, well yeah, okay, it's a toss up between Poison Ivy because like the makeup and the leaves, the makeup took 2.5 hours and it was rubbing off everywhere, and it was, but once it was done it was nice. But Karenai was probably my most difficult because we did that from scratch, and sewing that panel dress was absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. This video is already 12 minutes. My ADD is just going crazy. How do I feel about prosthetics? Fine. Depends what prosthetics. I love foam latex prosthetics and I love latex. Not a big fan of silicone. I hate silicone. I try to not use it at all ever because it's absolutely annoying and tedious. I love Pros-Aid, so I love gluing on already built prosthetics and then adding to them. I don't know, I feel okay about prosthetics, particularly latex. It's like my niche, I guess. The latex guru. As a new guy to cosplay makeup, I'd like to know what kind of makeup do you recommend for beginners? Depends what you're doing always. I mean, I can recommend a brand of makeup, but it might not necessarily be the makeup you need for what you want to accomplish. I mean, the fact that I do a lot of body painting and face like detailed colors, I use a lot of Mayron and a lot of Ben Nye and my Illustrator palettes, skin illustrators, and I also use a lot of cream makeups and latex makeups. So Mayron, Ben Nye, Skin Illustrator palettes are like my 3 favorite things in the world. I love latex, so you might want to grab a little thing of latex. It's not expensive. You can find it for pretty cheap. I would suggest getting shadows in bruised tones like purples and blues and browns and blacks and whites, because those are always necessary. Getting deep tone red lip glosses, which are perfect for base blood, which is thicker consistency. So if you want a longer wear for a cut or a bullet wound or any kind of gore, it lasts longer, it sticks, it doesn't run, and you can wear it all day because it doesn't dry. Fake blood's really good for getting that trickle effect, but it dries and it flakes, so it's a toss-up. All those things work for me, so hope that helps for beginning to do makeup. What is your favorite cosplay for this year so far? For myself? Wow, that's so hard. It's such a hard one. This year, I guess my favorite cosplay, would be the Crow, or because I wear it the most, or my Riddler. Crow, I'll give you my top 3. Crow, Riddler, and Pre. I'm really excited for Pre. I'm really excited to shoot it. And yeah, those are my top 3. But they're always changing because like I always think of a new thing and that will become my absolute favorite. So that one's really hard. But I guess Crow would be my favorite to wear. If you weren't doing... Oh, sorry, I've been not mentioning names. I'm such a dork. Okay, so Mark Morrissey asked about the makeup for beginners, and Ventus Keyblade asked about the favorite cosplay. Lee Herbert. Such an easy name to say, thank you. If you weren't doing cosplay and makeup as a hobby and career, what do you think you would be doing or would rather do? Well, that's simple. I would be a performer. In my last video I've talked about how I was a performer before this and how I did musicals, and it was a big part of my life, and I trained for it most of my life, did it most of my life, even got into college for it. But unfortunately, due to both my car accident and being diagnosed with arthritis in both my knees and fibromyalgia, it just took way too much off my body, and I would find that I wouldn't be able to do show after show because I'd be done. Like my body would just give up. So I still do it once a year, but I take smaller, well, I still take lead roles, but non-like dancing and insane roles. So that would be what I would do if I wasn't cosplaying. That, or I would probably be hosting my own TV show like EP Daily or something like that, G4 TV. That's my dream, is to have my own TV show, being like a gaming host. Jill Harry O'Rourke. Woo woo. You always seem to win the charity shop game. Do you go shopping with a costume in mind or pick things up with a potential cosplay in mind? She means thrift stores, because as a lot of you know, I get most of my stuff from thrift stores. I'm a very thrifty thrift store shopper. Say that 3 times fast. Thrifty thrift store shopper, thrifty thrift store shopper, thrifty thrift store shopper. All those years of singing lessons paid off. Yeah, so I love thrift stores. I mean, you can always find something there that you need, and I'm not the greatest sewer, I'm not the greatest fabricator, so I figure if I can find something similar, deconstruct it, and then construct it back up, that's my skill set. I'm really good at that. So most of the stuff I wear has thrift store pieces in it. My Beetlejuice thrift store, my Pre thrift store, my Alex DeLarge thrift store. Yeah, I usually go knowing, like I went the other day with all 3 of those costumes, Beetlejuice, Pre, and Alex, in mind. So I knew exactly what I'd already had done, I knew exactly what I needed, and I look for those key points, and I look for things that I can mix together to create what I need. And then if something pops out at me, like my awesome top that I wore for, oh, it's right here. Oh, let me see. Like this awesome top that I put on for Chiana's Farscape. This I just like randomly found, and I was like, I was gonna use it for Pre because I need to sew on the sleeves onto my bodysuit because my bodysuit is sleeveless. But yeah, I found this and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna need this for something. And then when I was doing that, I'm like, I have to throw together something to take pictures of, and I put it on. I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And even Gigi, who, when she liked my photo, said it was a good top. So I was like, okay, this is gonna work. So that, things pop out at me sometimes. I'm pretty lucky in finding stuff at thrift stores. That was a really long-winded answer for a short question. Fredosaurus Rex Lucci. I love saying that. Can you tell us about your cosplay, special effects, makeup brands, or which one is your favorite to use and why? My cosplay brands? I don't have cosplay brands. Lens Candy is my favorite contact place, and Value Village is my favorite cosplay store. Makeup brands, I've already said, Mayron and Ben Nye, and my Skin Illustrator palettes are my favorite. But I wear Maybelline in everyday life. oh god, this is, you're gonna hate me. I want to say Lemond, but I think it's Leamond A. Allen. Oh god. What cosplay is your very favorite to wear that you feel most happy in and most comfortable wearing? Which one would that be? Crow, yeah, for sure. It's the most covered, it's the most comfortable. I feel very pretty, like, not pretty, I feel sexy in it because it's really tight, but it hugs my curves nicely. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like things are popping out. I can either wear heels or flats with it. It doesn't really matter. I don't feel hot in it because the long sleeve shirt breathes really nicely. I can wear my hair up, I can wear my hair down. I know the makeup I can always do easily. I know I can do it full makeup or half makeup. Either way, I can just always wear it and feel good about it. I feel really happy in it. I feel like I'm doing something different, and I think a lot of people like it, so I'm happy when I'm making other people happy seeing it. I get a lot of older people coming up to me at events telling me that it's really awesome and they love that I was a female doing an Eric Draven as opposed to an Irish Shaw. I had a lot of older women actually coming up to me and being like, I love that movie and I'm so thankful that you did Eric because I love that character. So I think that's pretty cool. It makes me happy. It makes other people happy. So everybody's happy. Hugh Dartho Prince Will. Star Wars or Star Trek? Ha. Star Wars, obviously. I think I've watched Star Trek like 12 times, not even, and most of the times it was when I was like after surgery and I was high on pain medication, like with my knee all mangled, and it would be on TV and I'd be too lazy to find the remote and I would be laughing so hard because it was just so bad. Like it was just so, it was not bad, but it was just, the acting was just so cheesy, and it's even worse when like you're in that euphoric state and you're noticing all these little things, and like I couldn't find the controller, so I'm like, it's so bad. But honestly, the more that it's been on like in the background while I've been working, The Next Generation is actually kind of interesting. Some of the episodes are horrible, but I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. But I love Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not a fangirl. I know enough about it to get by. I grew up watching it. My brother's a big fan of it. I own all the DVDs. I even own the 3 Thou Shall Not Be Named ones that aren't even open. They're still in the packaging. And rightfully so. They were a gift. Alex Falk. How do you deal with the pressure of time constraints on set? I just feel like there's never enough time. Amen, brother. I'm really bad with time management. Obviously, we're at 22 minutes, and I said this was going to be a short video. So, time management skills are not my forte. I suck at them. I always want to do more. I'm always perfectionist at its highest. I want everything to be done, and I just keep adding, and there's always something more that can be done, and frig, I need to stop. And yeah, no. Now I've learned to basically, if I know I have a 4-hour period and I'm doing a full body paint, I know I set up a schedule beforehand where I say, okay, from 12 to 1, I'm working on strictly latex. From 1 to 2, I'm working strictly tattoo design. I'm going to use my last Zabrak Twi'lek mixture for this. From 1 to 2, I'm going to work on tattoos. From 3 to 4, I'm going to work on paint. 2 to 3, I'm going to work on paint. From 3 to 4, I'm going to work on detailing and costume, and then I stick to that, and I have a timer, and you know, no matter what, I move on, and if I have time to come back and finish off those small details, I will. But as long as I have all the main stuff down, I'm happy. When it comes to design, I always draw my design beforehand on makeup facial printouts, so I know exactly what I'm going in, especially if it's a lot of intricate tattoo like Darth Maul or Darth Talon or any of those things. I always look them up beforehand and draw them out so I know exactly how they're going to lay. I know where I want to put them, especially if they're original concepts, because I have no memory, so I forget things the next day. But nothing ever looks the same because I always end up just winging it anyway. Taylor Dove. I love your pre-cosplay. Thank you. My question is, what led you to wanting to cosplay her? What's your favorite part of Blade Runner? And the last part is, have you read the book that it's based on? I actually read the book before I ever saw the movie. I only saw the movie like a week before I made the costume, and that's what made me make the costume. I read the book a while ago and I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was a great book, but it wasn't like fresh in my mind. I didn't have any idea of the characters. I didn't even know there was a movie. Like, I had heard of it, but I wasn't aware. So when I was rummaging on online movies, I watched movies online on the internet, and I saw it and I was like, what is this madness? So I read the synopsis and I watched it, and I was like in love with Pri. I love really creepy, really complex, deep, deranged characters, but she also had some kind of humility to her that made you feel bad for her. You felt she was so vulnerable, you wanted to help her, but at the same time she was so dangerous. Like, it's like she almost used that, and I love that about her. My favorite part of Blade Runner is probably the fight in the department store with the mannequins and all that, when she's doing all her flips and shit, and then she does that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, no, that's probably my favorite part, simply because it's just really fucking creepy. Daryl Hannah was perfect in that, by the way. And of course the ending is just epic and really, really upsetting. Spider Dan Perry, there's your shout out. Caitlin Kitty Ryan, which movie makeup do you wish you could have done for the film, and why? I wish I could have done The Exorcist makeup. No, I wish I could have done Edward Scissorhands makeup. I wish I could have done Beetlejuice makeup. I wish I could have created a live-action Corpse Bride makeup. I wish I could do a live-action Nightmare Before Christmas where I do all the characters' makeup. I wish I could do all the characters from Pan's Labyrinth. I wish I could have done Abe Sapien or Hellboy. I wish I could have done any of the Silent Hill characters. I wish I could do zombies. Like, I don't know. All the makeups. All the makeups. Ray, oh god, Ray Villeneuve, oh god, I'm horrible. Villaneueva, Villeneuve, that's what it's gonna be. How does your cosplaying affect your private and romantic life? It doesn't. I don't really have much of one. I'm a very private person. I don't go out much. I kind of just chill in the basement and do my own thing. I'm a very, very, it's funny, everyone thinks I'm such like a crazy party girl, and that like I'm such a social butterfly, which I am when I go to events and stuff. I'm all over the place, but I'm very, very private. I'm a loner. I'm a homebody, and I stick to myself, and I just hang out on Facebook, and I don't really go out much. It's not really social anxiety. I just prefer to not go out of my comfort zones. I don't know. It's weird. Cosplay's really helped me with that, actually, because before, like 3 years ago, you would have never caught me at an event. I was scared shitless of any social situation that involved a lot of people. I always thought we were all gonna die and that some like gunman was gonna go kill everyone, and I'm really scared of that kind of stuff, and I was really like irrationally anxious and paranoid about things in the past, so I would never be caught dead. But cosplaying's actually opened me up to like going out. I've met a lot of friends where I actually hang out and go to bars, and like we hang out after events, and we just chill, and that's really helped me out. So cosplay's helped me in that sense, where I would never have gone to these events before. Romantic life, I wish I could meet a gorgeous cosplaying guy that I could fall madly in love with and cosplay with. That would be incredible. I see like all these other cosplaying couples, and I'm just like, damn it, I'm so jealous of your epicness. I feel like I would have to date someone who at least attended conventions or cosplayed or understood it or appreciated it, because it's such a huge part of my life that I don't think I couldn't. As much as I would want to be able to be happy with their interests and understand them, I would expect the same back. I was dating someone. It just recently ended. So, yeah, who knows what the future holds. There's a lot of events coming up soon. But that being said, I'm not looking for anything, and I'm not like, I like being single. It's fun. I'm really good single because I have a lot of shit to work out up here first. But yeah, if it does so come along when I'm least expecting it, that's when it's gonna happen. I don't go looking for it. Kimberly Nelson, what inspired you to get into cosplay? I worked at Comic-Con 2010 for Bad Kids Go to Hell as a Veronica cosplayer with my friend Mackenzie Smith Bubbles, who was a Trisha cosplayer. And we were just basically booth babes, I guess you could say. And I didn't even know this world existed. I was so blissfully ignorant. And when I was there, I saw all the cosplayers, and it was like, like it just opened up, and I was like, who are these magical people and why aren't I one of them? So I became one of them and never looked back. That was kind of like my first cosplay, I guess, if you can call it cosplay, but yeah, it's been magical ever since. And that's that. I think those are all the questions. I'm just gonna check quickly first so I didn't miss anybody, because I don't want to do that. Hold on a quick sec. No, I think that's it. Okay.